Hey there, Tamir from Fibonaccis-Traders.com here with the daily market recap for November 28th. Let's dig into the charts. Before we do, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, will be much appreciated. Thank you very much. SPY daily tried and failed to break up and above the 400 level, and now we need the 390 together with this trend line here to hold as support. Otherwise, if price action will get down and under this area here, next support will be the 382 and closing this gap here, because we know that more than 80% of all gaps are getting filled throughout time. So pay attention. We have here a trend reversal signal to the downside, 390, and this trend line here needs to hold. And we have gaps, and usually they are like magnets to price action. QQQ getting rejected one time after another by this trend line here, and now the 285 area from support to resistance, trend reversal signal to the downside. We need 280 to hold. If we look left, 280, support, resistance, support and resistance throughout 2022. So now it will be a support. Failing to hold a support, and we can 80% be sure that this gap here will get filled at the QQQ. But on the positive side, even if this gap here will get filled, we still have higher lows. IWM, as expected, several videos ago we said we have too many dojis in this area here, going sideways, consolidation, and we need this trend line here to act as support, and price action will retest it. And here we are, price action testing this trend line here, and now it needs to hold. Otherwise, next area will be breaking down under and going to the 180 and even towards the 174. IWM also, same as SPY and QQQ, have a gap here. It's closer than the SPY and the QQQ, but more likely if this trend line will fail to hold, this gap will get filled. Dow Jones, after a very nice bull run since 286 towards the 343, now Dow Jones is starting to cool off, which is a good thing. And Dow Jones also have this gap here at the 331, so it might get filled also. And next areas of support to the downside are the 333, the gap at the 330 area, and we might even see 317. And even if we see 317 on the Dow Jones, always look on the bigger picture. We are still in an uptrend, so always zoom out, look at the bigger picture, follow price and use levels to manage the risk. VIX, after a major fallout, now doji on Friday and today back inside the major support area. Another bounce towards the 2420, but we also have this gap here to the downside, and as we know, VIX does not have any gaps open, so this gap here will get filled. It's a matter of time, so just follow price. Dollar index 105, coming as a strong support to price because it was a strong resistance, strong support throughout 2022, and now again holding price. And we do have here a double bottom scenario which needs to get validate above the 107 towards the 108, and if it does validate, we can assume with high probability that 110 is in the cards again for dollar index. So always follow the dollar index and the VIX to get a proper point of view of price action for the indices, and that way you can also manage your shorts or long positions. Natural gas going all the way to the 687 area, 684 area. Now 730 is acting as short-term support and resistance. Let's see if the gas can go all the way back to this trend line here, or will it test this trend line here. But still, in the short term, we do see higher highs, higher lows on the natural gas. Nvidia, same as the SPY and the QQQ, needs to cool off, and this trend line here holding as a short-term support from October till today, holding the higher lows. Let's see if bulls of Nvidia can hold above this trend line. Failing to do so, and we will see a double top scenario coming into validation towards closing this gap here, and maybe even going to the 137 to the downside. So if you are long on Nvidia, this is the place and the time to start managing much closer the position and managing much more tighter the risk. Microsoft bouncing from the 240 to the 250, and now this doji and this candle here represents a signal that the trend is starting to reverse to the downside, and we might see 234 to the downside, and even this gap 228 area will get filled. But on the positive side, even if this gap will get filled, it means that the double top scenario is done and we will have a higher low. Apple to the downside, gapping down off this trend line. This trend line is a very, very strong resistance for the bulls. One time after another, bulls tried. Now it seems that they gave up, and bears are in full control again on Apple. 142 needs to hold, otherwise this gap here at the 138 will get filled. And now when Elon Musk opening a new war, and this time on Apple, Tesla and Apple, will be very interesting to look at. Tesla opening the day, if we look at the hourly, we had a very nice run in the first 2 hours of the day. Then came a doji off a Fibonacci level and went back down, bringing back more than 50% of the daily gains on the price action. And now 179 needs to hold, otherwise this gap here at the 171 will get filled. XLF, double top scenario of this trend line. This trend line goes all the way to April 2021 from support, 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 and then came 2022 as resistance. And now, as we can see, several times getting rejected. Bulls looks like giving up on XLF at this point, and XLF is going to retest the 34 area, and maybe even closing this gap here at the 34.30 area. Double top scenario is never a bull, nothing bullish on double top scenario, so keep your eyes also on the XLF. So if you find this video helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. And until the next video, do good things.